My date with the president's daughter. My date with the president's daughter. Oh yeah, my date with her. So special. Yes. Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember 2023, while I'm now just doing these on the fly. I had a tentative schedule, but now I decided I want to do this one instead of Pete's Dragon remake. It'll be coming eventually, maybe. We are looking at My Date with the President's Daughter, which is not a Disney Channel original movie, which some people have misconstrued. As such, there are a few people confused, like this, Paper Brigade, Suzy Q, any of those mid-90s remakes, like the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, or Escape to Witch Mountain, Freaky Friday, Shaggy Dog, Love Bug. They were not Disney Channel original movies, but rather, and Model Behavior, which I hope to talk about at some point, and H-E double Hockey Sticks, which I will not be talking about this year. They were actually part of the Wonderful World of Disney, which aired on Saturday nights. There's a fly in here again. I killed him and I keep him back. Sorry, Patrick Duffy, I smacked you on the face. They were part of the Wonderful World of Disney, which had its renaissance in the 90s with all these TV movies. 90s and 2000s were these TV movies that were coming out. And I also played movies, the other Disney movies, you know. But I remember this one fondly. I'm rewatching it. The one thing that I'm getting nostalgia vibes, but also feeling old. It's just how everything looks in these. From watching, let's see. I watched Two Guys and a Girl, you know, that show for that video I did back in November, which I actually recorded in October and was up in November, and I'm still recording this in October, so, but, the late 90s nostalgia there, and even, in Tower of Terror, which was the late 90s as well, just that 90s look. And this, with the music and the clothes and how everything looks, it's just, this was late 90s cheese stuff. By this point, I was 10 years old, right? This came out in 98. But this is when I was really starting to get into stuff. I was aware of some things, right? I was 10, 11 years old at this point, and I was into stuff, you know? It's the same year that Brink came out, and you know, got me interested in Disney Channel original movies, but it really didn't. But the story here is that Duncan Fletcher, played by Will Friedle from Boy Meets World, he is this goober of a guy. He likes magic tricks. I don't know why I shook that. And he asks this girl out on a date that he meets at the mall. Turns out she is the president's daughter, and she's Hallie, who's played by Elizabeth Hernois, who was also on Boy Meets World as Missy Robinson. And the actress is younger than Will Friedle because she was playing sort of love interest to Corey, who is the younger brother. Oh my God. Hold on. Hold on, little fly. No, I didn't get it. I'll leave that here just in case. Fly will die. Will die. Anyway, so yeah, she played Missy Robinson, where we got the line, Missy Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. You know, it's a knock to Mrs. Robinson from The Graduate. But yeah. And if there's also two Animorphs among this here, with Paolo Costanzo and Joel Gordon. Paolo Costanzo, of course, was Axe throughout the entire series, and Joel Gordon played the guy who was in Hawk Cult in the series finale, Changes. I don't remember his name, but he was in that one episode. He's been in other things, I'm sure, but that's what I recognize him from. The Fly is back. So, as you would assume, going on a date with the president's daughter is not going to be normal. You know. So the setup here is that Duncan and his friends are at the mall, right? And he needs to get a date for the dance, you know. And so he asks her to the dance. He meets up with her. She asks him which hat fits, which, to be honest, neither of the hat fit with her. Neither of the hats fit with her. The way she was dressed, at least. Maybe a different outfit. Who knows? Did I get it? Did I get it? I don't think I did. No, it's right there. It's right there. Oh no, please, stay still. It's fucking with me now. It's messing with me. So she agrees and she gives him the address. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Which for some reason he doesn't automatically know is the president's house. Living in Washington, D.C., and he doesn't realize that's the president's address. I live all the way in Minnesota, and I know that's the president's address. I know, this is the guy who plays Eric Matthews we're talking about, but he's not Eric Matthews here. He's a smarter character than Eric Matthews. He's like season 1 Eric Matthews here. With the hair of season 5 Eric Matthews. Or season 6 Eric Matthews. This is 98, so this is season 5. 98? Maybe beginning of season 5? Maybe he filmed this in between, because he doesn't have the hair for season 6. Because he had this hair at the end of season 4, and then he cut it at the beginning of season 6. Or 5, excuse me. And I think, and then he grew it out. And he kept it for all of season 6 until season 7 when he cut it again. And that's around the time he did HE double hockey sticks, because he has the short hair there. Yeah. So as I'm watching this movie, I'm starting to realize that the friends. The fly is on my hand right now. See it? Oh! Did you see that? I tried to hit it, so it came at me, and then I tried to... this was a review, right? We're almost 8 minutes in, and I barely talk about this damn movie. So, Duncan is a bit of a goober, like I said. He likes magic tricks, but he, makes all this shit up for her. Like, oh, I'm a rock climber, and I know karate, and stuff you try to build yourself up to. So when he arrives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the president's house, he doesn't realize. And one other thing, she's the president's daughter. We are shown to believe that she goes to, every single live event thing with him. So he would have had to have seen her on TV before. There have been people that point out, hey, you look just like the president's daughter. Oh, I get that all the time. But so he asked his dad to take the car. Yeah, you can take it to a station wagon. And he's like, no, I want the BMW. That's a company car. You can't take it. He does anyway, of course, because teenagers. 90s teenagers especially. No, I'm not going to listen to you, Dad. Dad with establishment or something. He's not like that, but I'm just saying. And his dad is an actor I've seen before, but I can't place where I've seen him before, but I have seen him. The president is played by Dabney Coleman, who you've seen in a plethora of things, including 9 to 5. Yes, as the boss in 9 to 5, which is the only thing I think of at the top of my head right now that I've seen him in. I'm sure he's been in a plethora of things that I've seen before. Was he in Mr. Mom? I'm not going to dig out the DVD, but I swear he was the boss in Mr. Mom, wasn't he? I know it's been years since I've seen that movie, but he's been in stuff, right? Of course. And he's the president of the United States. President, I don't remember the last name. Hallie. So, the date that proceeding date is nuts. He just wants to get her to the dance to win that bet. And at one point, he raises it from $50 to $100. When he says it's the president's daughter, they don't believe him. By the way, they end up on TV. And by the end of this movie, they still don't believe them. Now, they were at the the dance when this happened. So the friends were. I think the friends should have been more involved in this. Like when Duncan and him get in trouble, he should be, he should go to the dance. Like, I understand if he went to the dance, he'd win the bet, she'd figure it out and get mad, which they do eventually do. They don't go to the dance, but he does confess to her about the bet. But get rid of the bet, right? And just say, I'm going to come to the dance with a date, and then when they get there, they help them escape from the Secret Service, the cops, or whatever. It goes all over the place. They go to this club where these grown-ass men are hitting on what is supposed to be a 17-year-old girl. Yes, I know that they were in their early 20s at this time. Well, at least he was. But, come on. Even later, this guy in the club was like, hey, And then there's this other guy, Steve Evinger, who comes in out of nowhere, is supposed to be Duncan's rival. Maybe he was earlier on in the film. I don't remember seeing him, but he shows up and takes her to a dance at her apartment. Girl, you're the best judge of character. Of course, at this point, she's mad at Duncan because he confesses everything to her while they're dancing on a rooftop. But Duncan does eventually show up and save the day. Meanwhile, the president has snuck out of his own White House with Duncan's dad to try to track down the kids. Also, the BMW was stolen by Gordon Michael Wolvett and his girlfriend. If you don't know, he was the gay guy in Bride of Chucky. He was also in Andromeda. He was great in that show. Yeah, they're wearing like bags, paper bags on their heads, and they're chasing the car down thinking it's them. They even go to the White House. Now, at first I'm like, well, why didn't they even know that's not the president's daughter? But here's the thing. It's cops, not the Secret Service, that gets them. But the cops would know. Maybe they didn't say they're looking for the president's daughter, but they want the people in that BMW. Maybe. Who knows? But, yeah. It's not them. Like, hey, can we, see a Lincoln bedroom or something like that? And then, hey, Mr. P. But as a result, Duncan's dad and the president do get closer. And at the beginning of this, Duncan's dad, is all for voting for the rival, President Olsen. He's having this party for his boss and everything. And then, by the way, Duncan has a sister, and her one note thing is food. Oh, food. She's eating food. She's at the rehearsal. She's at the banquet. President's banquet, eating the president's food, and then towards the end, she's like, "Is it breakfast yet?" I'm like, "There's this one note with this girl, food. I mean, I'm a fat guy, but this girl, she probably weighs like 500 pounds now. The character, not the actress. Just saying. Maybe she grew up and she, maybe she's like Katie and Brink. She has a fast metabolism. I don't know, but I should re-review Brink, just because I want to. Just because I haven't watched it in a while. If I do that, it's going to open up a whole new can of worms. Ooh, that one's a good one, too. Okay. Anyway, so the president sneaks out dressed as a waiter with Duncan's dad, which Duncan's dad could have just left, I guess, maybe not, because I don't know. But they leave, they sneak out, and they try to track him down. They end up in jail because they were speeding, and they don't believe that this guy is the president. Why? Because he's wearing a waiter? Hallie has been getting all night. Hey, you look like the president's daughter. All night. And they, stupid cops, dumbass cops, can't believe that he's the president. And then they call the Secret Service, and they come down and arrest him. We need to get the scene like from the episode of Fresh Prince where Will and Carlton are arrested because they're black, driving a nice car. Yeah, that episode. Where Carlton learns that racism is a thing. Uncle Phil just lets the cops have it. Just boom, boom, just throws that. We need a scene where the president just goes down these people's throats. That I can have your jobs, you know. Danny Coleman would be a good actor to do that. He's always known for playing stern, firm, you know, type characters. Like I said, Duncan eventually confesses about the bet, and she gets mad at him and runs off. And this feels like, oh, we're short on runtime. Let's have them split up. Because, I mean, they'd never make it to the dance, but if you're gonna do this plot line, why not have them make it to the dance and Duncan realizes that he wants to call it off by then? But they're like, hey, you win the bet. And then she gets mad, but he throws the money back at him. I do like how they deal with this, though, later. So, eventually, after the whole Steve situation, he defends her by beating up Steve, and I was waiting for her to come in there and help him, which would be the way 90s women are strong, powerful. But no, they actually do the thing and do the right thing, I would say, and have Duncan defend her. Nowadays, it would be the other way around, where he tries to defend her, it doesn't work, and she stands up, because Disney is all about that female empowerment BS bullshits. But yeah, this worked here. And they're back in the good graces again, and they drive off, and they smooch at the Lincoln Monument, right? And everything is copacetic. Duncan says she's going to go home, and she goes back to the White House. He takes off and lets the president's daughter walk all the way back to, I just thought of that, back to the White House by herself. Everything is fine. Duncan's parents are still there. And then they leave. And Duncan and his father end up getting a car out of impound. And he yells at him, so you're grounded. And then has a change of heart. Then they're going to spend time together, Then he realizes, hey, you're wearing a kind of expensive jacket. Because he gave him a credit card early on, and he used the credit card to buy a bunch of expensive clothes for Hallie. Because, of course. Well, you said an emergency. That's not really an emergency. Yeah. And when he gave it to him, like, why are you giving him this charge card? And we got this scene. I'm like, oh, okay, this is why. And everything's fine. Duncan is now at school. He pays $100 to his friends, which it's only $100 period. So are they splitting it 50 each? Because if that's the case, why did they make the bet for 50 if they're only going to get $25 a piece? I would have started with 100, switched it to 200, so they each get $100 a piece. I don't know if it's. I originally thought it was $100 a piece he owes them, right? And he would get $100 from each of them. But no, it was $100 period. But you know, they're like, oh, so what'd you really do Saturday night? He's like, well, I went on a date with the president's daughter. I had a really wild time. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Sure. Oh, and I beat up Steve Ellington, whatever his name is. Sure, yeah. Then they're in class, and the Secret Service guys show up. One of them, which is Lindsay Lohan's dad from Get a Clue, which I do want to talk about later on this month. Yeah, the president's outside. Everyone goes to the window, and they realize he was telling the truth, which technically means that the bet is null and void, and they should give the $100 back. Like, technically, he lost, but once they see they're telling the truth, they should say, okay, we're giving the money back to you, because piece of shriveled hamburger. There, I thought it was the ladybug. I don't know why, but I did. So basically, the president, thanks Duncan for protecting Hallie and says, you know what? You guys can continue to see each other if you want. They were pretty much ready for it to be done. Like, probably not going to see each other again, but they do have feelings for each other. They basically use each other because he was trying to get the bet, and she was trying to just get away from the Secret Service. Because they ditched the Secret Service early on when they go to the movies. You know? But, if they just went to the dance, the story would have been over. Quick. So, it works. It works. And And so we get the reprisal of the theme song. Because the movie opens with Hallie waking up in bed, right? And then she's like, it was just another normal day for Hallie, whatever her last name is. And then it pans out from the White House and you get the theme song playing. My date with the president's daughter, which is kind of early because, I don't know, we don't even introduced to Duncan yet. But and then we get it here. Oh, it's cool for your dad to trust us. And there's like 4 Secret Service cars and a helicopter flying around. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like last time. Although, you think, after what happened, you would kind of be a little more lax with this. Because, you know, it was his insistence on having a Secret Service go with them that started this whole problem. And I know she's the president's daughter, but I think we've seen that they can handle themselves without any protection. Maybe the lesson wasn't learned, but yeah. So I'm going to say that My Date with the President's Daughter is pretty good. So what are your thoughts on My Date with the President's Daughter? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. I always mess up.